Ibrahima Konate has become Jurgen Klopp's go-to man for biggest games. Immense was the word Rio Ferdinand used to describe the performance of Liverpool's centre-backs in their 2-0 win at Inter Milan on Wednesday night. 4 years and 3 major trophies into his Liverpool career, Virgil van Dijk is well used to those sort of superlatives by now, but for 22-year-old Ibrahima Konate, the performance and the praise that has followed feels like a coming-of-age moment. Konate has been eased in gently by Jurgen Klopp this season, appearing in just 15 of their 38 matches in all competitions, but his record speaks for itself with Liverpool unbeaten in those games, 14 of which he's started, winning 11 and drawing 4. Though Joel Matip has been Van Dijk's regular partner in the Premier League, Klopp has taken to selecting Konate for the biggest matches: the 5-0 win at United, the 2-2 draw at Chelsea, and now for the first leg of the Champions League last 16 tie against Inter, the most important game of Liverpool's season so far. Konate's performance at the San Siro had it all. From heroic tackles and interceptions to intuitive positioning and a calmness on the ball that Klopp demands from all of his players. It is easy to see why he felt the need to persuade the club to fork out £36 million to sign the 6 feet 4 inches Frenchman from RB Leipzig, who made a huge profit having signed him for free from Sochaux in 2017, last summer. One particular piece of defending late in the first half showcased all of Konate's attributes in one move. As Denzel Dumfries was freed down the right flank, Edin Dzeko made a beeline for the back post with only Konate for company as Van Dijk was caught upfield. Dumfries needed to hit the ball first time and he did, almost perfectly, but Konate's positioning, awareness, and athleticism was so good that it allowed him time to slide in and put the ball out for a corner in the nick of time. Had he been running on a different line or lacked the pace and timing to make the interception, then Dzeko would have been left with a relatively simple finish. Had Dumfries gone the aerial route or carried on dribbling, Konate was perfectly positioned for both of those threats too. So, with Konate looking so good against Inter, and for most of his first season at Anfield, it begs 2 questions. 1. Why has Klopp been so careful with his introduction? 2. Can we expect to see him playing more regularly now? Klopp has been careful with Konate for 3 reasons. Firstly, Konate missed large chunks of the last 2 seasons with a recurring hip problem, so Klopp does not want to overload him, especially at such a young age. Secondly, the Liverpool boss seems to have learned his lessons from last season when he went in with only 3 recognized centre-backs and saw all 3 suffer long-term injuries. He seems intent on rotating the 4 centre-backs he describes as world classes: Van Dijk, Matip, Konate, and Joe Gomez, to avoid a repeat situation. Thirdly, Klopp always takes his time to embed new signings. Much like Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, Klopp's style of play is so intense and demanding that he almost needs to deconstruct a player first before remolding them to fit his team. He did that with the likes of Andy Robertson, Fabinho, and Thiago, and seems to be doing the same with Konate, who was used to playing in a back 3 at RB Leipzig. So that answers our second question too. We can expect to see Konate continuing to be rotated with Liverpool's other centre-backs. He is, however, quickly emerging as Klopp's go-to man for big games, which is not a bad position to be in as we near the business end of the season. By using Matip and Gomez, who has struggled to get back to the heights of the title-winning 2019-20 season since his knee injury, for bread-and-butter Premier League games, Konate can be kept fresh for the big Champions League knockout matches, as well as the latter stages of the FA Cup and potentially the Carabao Cup final. International recognition shouldn't be far away for Konate either, even given France's wealth of options at centre-back. Playing in this year's World Cup is a realistic target. Konate's potential is frightening given how good he is already at 20.